Thank you for joining me for this mini practice. All you need is a little bit of space, any room in your house. So finding a quiet spot to sit, you can be on a chair or on the floor, maybe closing your eyes. And let's just take a moment to settle. Feel your breath. Feel the parts of your body in contact with the ground beneath you. Easy breath in and out through the nose. Really honor this time that you're taking for yourself to engage in some gentle movement to help with stress relief, boosting your energy, finding calm or relaxation, or whatever it is that you need right now. With open eyes, bring one hand to the floor and inhale, gently bend to the side. As you exhale, come back to center. Inhale, opposite arm comes up as you gently bend to the side. Exhaling back to center, linking movement and breath as you go side to side. And you can make the movement as big or as small as you'd like. You can do it without moving the arms. Let's do a couple more on each side. And then from center, inhaling both arms up. Exhale as you rotate the ribs to one side. One arm comes across and the other arm comes back. Inhaling, rotating back to center. Now as you exhale, rotate to the other side. Linking movement and breath. You can also do this rotation without the arms, maybe with the palms in the center. You decide. And let's do one more on each side. And inhale back to center. And exhale the arms down. Coming on to hands and knees into a tabletop. Knees under hips, wrists under the shoulders. Settle down your arms into your hands. And from your hips, down your legs into your knees. We're going to tilt the pelvis forward, sinking through the low back, the mid back, the upper back, and then the head lifts. Reversing, drawing the pelvis back, rounding the low back, mid back, upper back, and then the head. So move segment by segment up your spine, starting from the pelvis, and the head comes last. Moving at your own pace, easy breath in and out through your nose. Observing sensations through your body as you move. Knowing that you can always make the movement a little bit smaller or a little bit slower if you're feeling discomfort or pain. One more of each. And then coming back to neutral. From here, let's set up for a side bend. So bring your right arm forward, slightly across, and then come down onto your other forearm with your elbow wide and your palm in. Let your forehead come down onto your bent elbow. Keep the other arm straight. Keep your hips over your knees. And then gently press out to the right through your right armpit, your right side ribs, and your right side waist. So we're finding, or maybe potentially experiencing some stretch through the right side of your torso, maybe even down your arm. Breathing softly. And coming back up onto your hands. And we'll do the same thing on the other side, bringing the left arm forward and across. Coming down onto the right forearm, bringing the forehead down. And gently pressing out to the left through your left armpit, your left side ribs, and your left side waist. Shoulders stay level, hips stay level and over the knees. Soft, gentle breath. Good. And then coming back up onto hands and knees. So if you're okay here, keep the wrists under the shoulders, knees under the hips. Neutral spine. Let's gently start to rock back and forth. So the movement's happening where your hips are, right here and right here. Neutral spine. You might feel some effort through the abdomen as the weight comes back out of the hands. And from here, we're going to start with the right leg. You're going to rotate the right leg so your foot ends up on the left side. And then you're going to take your left knee behind the right calf. And then start to take the hips straight back and then forward. So the left knee may or may not touch the ground, or you may wish to slightly straighten the left leg. So as you go back, the butt goes back. And we're going to keep repeating this. And so you're really going to start feeling the work in your right side butt. You might feel some effort in the abdomen. Good. Once the shoulder over the wrist, we're going to rotate the right leg back and bring the left knee down. Now we're going to rotate the left leg. I'm going to move my right leg out of the way so you can see. Rotate the left leg so the foot turns towards the middle, and then the right knee comes behind the left thigh. And we're shifting the weight back and forth. See if you can keep your hips level. And you should feel the work in your left butt, your left hip. And again, it doesn't have to be a big movement. Don't worry if your leg didn't rotate as much as mine. Notice your breath. Do a couple more. Good. And we can uncross the legs and bring them back to neutral. From here, let's come down to lying on our back with the knees bent. We'll keep the feet hip distance apart. And just take a moment to settle. Feel your feet against the floor. And then roll onto the outside edge of your right foot and the inside edge of your left foot. And the knees come to the side. Keep pressing down through the feet. Back to center. Press down through the outside edge of the left foot and the inside edge of your right foot as the legs go to the left. And back to center. So we're going to go side to side. Maybe linking movement and breath, maybe not. Pressing through the edges of the feet as you rotate the hips side to side. And you can make this movement smaller. If you want. And let's go one more on each side. And then come back to center. Next, lift your hips off the floor and then lower down through the hip creases. So focus on the lift initiating from the back of the legs and the bum, lifting up and then lowering back down. You can also think of keeping a neutral spine. So the spine isn't arching, and so that requires your torso, your rib cage, to move around the head of your arm bone. So as the hips lift, the chest kind of is moving around the top of the arm, and then you're lowering through the hips. So explore that. See what that feels like in your body. You ought not be sinking through your belly button or your upper belly. You want to think of your torso like a pop can that doesn't crumple. And so the areas that are moving then are your hip crease, which is generated by your butt, and then moving around the head of the arm bones. So we've done movements before where we isolate the movement of the arms relative to the rest of the body. This time, we're moving the torso, isolating it from the arms. So there's not an action of trying to wiggle the blades together or squeeze the arms or anything like that. And if you'd like to hold one of your lifts, we can do that. Easy breath. Notice if your jaw is clenching. You can lower down at any time, lowering through the hip creases. And then if it feels good, hug the knees into your chest and give yourself a gentle rock side to side. Good. Coming into stillness, slide your hands onto your kneecaps and use your arms to circle the legs. So the legs are coming apart and then together in the center. And the legs are passive here and the arms are doing the work. Getting a sense of how your leg bones are moving in the hip socket. And you can make the movements as big or as small as you like. You can see if you have preference over one or the other. You can also explore speed, going slow or a little bit faster. Or maybe how slow can you make the movements? And switching direction. Circling the legs the other way. How does it feel to have passive legs and your arms moving them? And one more. We'll keep the right knee in, but release the left foot to the floor. And then extend the right leg up. So you can always leave your foot with a strap, or you can hold the back of your thigh. If you'd like to feel more stretch, you can lift your heel. And see if you can keep your thigh as much as you can at 90. The knee can be bent. And observe whatever you're sensing in your leg. Easy breath in and out through your nose. Maybe you can explore flexing your ankle, being super gentle with it. Can you flex your ankle without generating movement through your toes? So be curious about that one. And same with side to side. Can you find a range where the toes stay quiet and there isn't any clicking or crunching through your ankle joint? It can be challenging Just go smaller, go slower. Mine's really clicky today. There we go. Good. Bend your knee, bring your foot to the floor, and we'll bring the other leg up. See if you can keep your thigh at 90. And lift the heel if you want to feel more stretch. Easy breath. If your neck or your shoulders are strained, let go with your hands and just hold your leg up or use a strap. And slide your hands down the strap so the upper arms can relax on the floor. Maybe exploring and flexing through the ankle. And can you flex the ankle without the toes moving around? And if you can't, what if you go smaller? And maybe a little bit side to side. Good. And then bending the knee and bringing the foot back to the ground. Let's roll to one side. Press ourselves up. And let's do maybe one more movement. This one will be on our knees. So we'll take one leg out to the side. If this feels like it's really challenging, if you have a block or a pillow or something, you can bring the knee that's down or the shin that's down onto the block. That brings you up a little bit higher, so it's easier to bring the leg out to the side. And then the same side hand will be on the extended leg. And then let yourself slide into a side bend. The opposite arm can come up if you'd like. Be where you can breathe with ease. So if you find your breathing is strange, just come out again and go a little bit less. You can bring your hand to the side of the head and maybe rotate your ribs towards the extended leg. Bring a little bit of rotation in through the torso. If you want to bring some arm movement into it, you can. Good. And then we'll come back up and switch sides. Using the block under the leg if you'd like. Hand on the thigh and sliding down into a gentle side bend, being where you can breathe easily. The opposite arm may or may not come up or part way. Notice your breath. And if you'd like to add a little bit of rotation. So my pelvis and my legs aren't moving. I'm trying to get the rib cage to rotate. Maybe bringing the arm into it like you're grabbing and pulling. Getting that lawnmower started. Good. And then we'll come out and we'll meet back in sitting. Coming into a comfortable seated position, or you can lie on your back. In whatever position you're in, sensing the parts of the body in contact with the ground. Let your hands rest, either palms up or palms down. Palms down will be a little bit more grounding. Palms up is a little bit more receptive and open. So you decide what feels the best for you right now. And invite your breath to move down into the rib cage. Filling the back of the ribs, the front of the ribs, and the side ribs simultaneously. Like a balloon expanding releasing on the exhales. As you breathe quietly, honoring the time that you took to move and explore some movement today. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks for joining me. Namaste.